What can I do if my husband's green card case has been pending forever and the embassy won't do anything about it? Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration attorney practicing law here in St. Louis, Missouri. We have clients who file for a husband to come to the United States who find themselves waiting for a very long time. Usually they come to us after having waited a few years for the State Department and the embassy to issue a visa for their husband to come to the United States. In many cases, the big problems are with the consulate in Islamabad, Pakistan. Now, I often tell our Muslim clients that one of the hardest things we do is to bring Muslim, South Asian, or Arab men to the United States. They're usually put under an intense degree of scrutiny, and of course we've seen reports that the FBI, the CIA, and other agencies are working together to make cases involving Muslims decided more slowly. They're placed under a microscope, they're under an intense amount of scrutiny, much more so than the typical case out of, say, Europe or Australia, Africa, these kinds of places. So it's really frustrating for our clients. We have a couple clients who've been waiting for years for their spouses to get their visa. They've already had their case approved at USCIS. It's always already gone through the National Visa Center. Now it's just up to the embassy to issue the visa. Either they've conducted the interview or they haven't, and they're just sitting. Now, in many of these instances, the people who come to see us have done a tremendous amount of work to try to get their case heard and decided. They've banged their head on the wall trying to do everything they can to get the case to move, but the State Department has so much discretion in issuing these visas that many people are afraid to take that last final step. What they may have done is they may have called the Immigration Service, they may have called the National Visa Center, they may have gone online to the consulate and filled out a form asking for online help, and they receive an email back saying that their case is under administrative review, background check, these kinds of things. And they're sort of basically just told, keep waiting, keep waiting. We have a couple clients who've been waiting to see their husband for 2, 3, even 4 years. And we think that's absurd and that it's contrary to the law. The law does allow someone like that, a U.S. citizen or green card holder, who's been waiting to see their spouse for years, who's been waiting for their spouse to get their green card and their visa to come to the United States, to go into court and ask a federal judge who's not elected, who's appointed for life, who's not beholden to the State Department or the Immigration Service, to adjudicate that petition. And when I say adjudicate, that means to decide the petition. And the way you do that is by filing a lawsuit. You file a lawsuit against the State Department saying that they've taken an unreasonable amount of time to decide your husband or your wife's case. That's the key question. The Administrative Procedures Act allows agencies a whole lot of discretion in whether or not to decide an application. But the thing that agencies such as CIS or the Department of State cannot do is to just sit on a case. Now, sometimes officers have things in the file that make them take pause and make them not sure if they want to approve a decision. So the easier thing to do than denying it is to just put it on the shelf. And what these lawsuits do is force them to take it off the shelf. We've had great success in the United States suing the Immigration Service, especially in situations involving citizenship, where people have been waiting for a long time for their citizenship case to be decided. We've also had some success with green cards. The law is not as clear in deciding green card cases, and the law is certainly not as clear in compelling the State Department to act as it is in citizenship cases. So you have to go in this with eyes wide open and understand that the federal government is going to do everything they can to slow down your case and to give them more time to decide their case. It's really an unfair, unfortunate situation that you have the right to have your case decided, but the only way you can exercise that right is to file suit. Calling your congressman, calling your senator, doing things like that, going online, none of those things seem to work in certain cases. And what the lawsuit does is it forces them to take the case off the shelf, to look at it anew, and to decide the case typically before the federal judge gets involved. These federal agencies do not like to have judicial oversight. They like to be in control of the process, and many times they ask the judge to just let them keep doing what they're doing. But in our experience, the lawsuits nudge them to get their attention because just threatening a lawsuit or sending a letter or making a phone call, they sort of flick that off like a bug, and they aren't really concerned with helping you. So if you're interested in learning more about how a lawsuit might help you bring your husband or wife here, whether it be from Pakistan or from some other country in which you've experienced delay, we'd be happy to talk to you about it. We think this is an area of the law that needs to be litigated, in which the agencies need to be challenged for their delays, and in which good case law is made so that these agencies cannot simply sit on cases year after year after year. It's not fair, it's un-American, and it's against the law. So give us a call, 314-961-8200, and we'd be happy to talk to you about it. Or you can email us, jim@hackinglawpractice.com. Thanks a lot.